Good morning, children. How are you all? Hope you all are doing very well. So let us start today's class. This is class 10th, subject mathematics, chapter number 5, arithmetic progressions, lecture number 6. And the children, content I am going to cover from NCERT. Children, the topics which I am going to cover in this lecture, they are: number 1, problems based on finding the nth term when the sum of first n terms is given. Fine. Till now what we were doing basically to calculate the nth term, that is an, we will be having a series given and we were just going to apply the formula an is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d, and we were calculating the nth term. But now what is the scenario given? That you will be having the sum of first n terms given, and on the basis of those sum of n terms you will have to calculate the nth term of AP. Correct, student? This is most important type. For that I am going to take the question from exercise 5.3. After that, children, I am going to cover word problems based on SN, that is sum of first n terms of the given AP. Correct? For that also, children, I am going to consult the problems from exercise 5.3. And after that, I am going to begin with the HOTS from exercise 5.4. Correct, students? So, children, let us start today's the very first topic. For that, children, I am going to take question number 11 from exercise 5.3 so that you can better understand the concept. So, if the sum of first n terms of an AP is 4n minus n square, then what is first term? Definitely that would be known as A1, but here you are going to call it as S1. The reason I am going to explain you. What is the sum of first two terms? What is the second term? That is A2. Similarly, find the third, 10th and of course the nth term. So have you understood the question? Here you will be having the sum of first n terms given. That is Sn is equal to 4n minus n square. You will have to calculate the nth term, third term, 10th term, sum of first two terms, second term and of course the very first term. Correct, students? So children, in this one question only I am going to explain you one concept. Fine, but there are basically so many parts given. Correct? So let us start. You will be having sum of first n terms given, that is Sn is equal to 4n minus n square. As children, it is said that what is the first term? Here it is said in the question that first term is known as S1. Basically, what is S1? S1 is the sum of one term. Children, can you find out the sum of one term only? No. Basically, to find the sum, we require at least two terms. Correct? So that's why here S1 is nothing but A1 only. Correct? So how to calculate S1? Definitely at place of n I have to put 1 in this equation. Let it be equation number 1. So you are going to calculate S1. So wherever you will be having n, you have to just insert 1. It would become 4 into 1 minus 1 square, that is 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. Children, this is the sum of one term. Isn't it a joke that we are going to calculate the sum of one term only? No, it is actually the very first term only. Fine, because we cannot calculate the sum of one term. To calculate the addition of the terms, we require at least two terms. Correct? So here first term is nothing but S1, or even we can call it A1 also for our convenience, which is equal to 3. Correct, student? Now first part we have done. What else is asked in the question? What is the sum of first two terms? First two terms means S2. So what I am going to do? S2 is what basically? S2 means you are going to find first term and then you are going to find second term and you are adding them. This is term 1, term 2. Then and only then you can calculate the sum of first terms, no? Right? So here we will be having the sum of first n terms given. And I have to calculate the sum of first two term. So at place of n, I am just going to insert 2. It would become S2 is equal to 4 into 2 minus 2 square. That is 8 minus 4 is equal to 4. Correct, student? So this is sum of first two terms, which is equal to 4. After finding the sum of first two terms, we will be given that you have to find out second term as well. Children, as I have just explained you, what is S2? Sum of first two term, that is A1 plus A2. And I have been asked to find out A2 now. Suppose if I am going to subtract A1 from A1 plus A2, so I will be getting A2. Correct, student? Now the same concept I am going to apply over here. Second term is equal to A2. That is equal to, this is the sum of first two terms, that is A1 plus A2. This is A1 plus A2. Now I am going to subtract what? S1. And I have just told you what is S1. That is A1 only. Fine. So both are going to be cancelled. Ultimately I am going to get A2. Correct, student? So how I am going to get the second term? If I am going to subtract the sum of one term, or I should say the very first term, from the sum of two terms, then and only then I can get term number 2. So what is S2? We have just found, that is 4 minus S1 is 3 is equal to 1. So what is the second term of the given AP? Of AP is equal to 1. Correct, students? Now children, I am applying the same concept once again to calculate the third term. Third term, you know how do we write third term? That is A3. So this must be equal to sum of first three terms. So can you tell me what will be the sum of first three terms? S3 must be equal to A1 plus A2 plus A3. And I am going to subtract what? Sum of two terms, that is A1 plus A2. When you are going to open the bracket, you will be getting minus A1 and minus A2. They both are going to be cancelled. So ultimately what you are going to get, children? You will be getting A3. So this is what basically that you are going to calculate the third term of AP when you will be having the sum of first three terms given, as well as you will be having the sum of first two terms given. So while subtracting the sum of first two terms from sum of first three terms, you can easily calculate the third term. Correct, student? So now let us calculate S3. Here children, for your convenience, I have written Sn is equal to 4n minus n square. So at place of n, I am just going to substitute the value 3. It would become S3 is equal to 4 into 3. Look, 4 into 3 minus 3 square. Minus, now I have to calculate S2. Though I have calculated it earlier also. Fine. But here I have to find it out again. So it would be 4 into 2 minus 2 square. Look, here it is written. Solve the bracket. It would be 12 minus 3 square is 9 minus 4 to the 8 minus 2 square is 4. So children, you will be getting 3 minus 4 is equal to minus 1. This is what actually? This is the third term. How did I calculate it? While subtracting the sum of two terms from the sum of three terms. Correct, students? Now children, while applying the same concept, we will have to calculate 10th term also. So what is to be done? As I have to calculate the 10th term, so definitely I will have to calculate the sum of first 10 terms first. And then what I have to subtract? I have to subtract the sum of 9 terms, which is basically the preceding to the 10th. Correct? So this is S10 minus S9. This is Sn given. So please insert the value at place of n. I will be writing 10. It would become S10 is equal to 4 into 10 minus 10 square. Look, here it is written. Minus. Now 4 into 9 minus 9 square, because I am going to calculate S9. So simplify. It would become 4 into 10, that is 40, minus 10 square is equal to 100, minus 4 into 9, that is 36, minus 9 square is equal to 81. So after simplifying the very first bracket, I will be getting minus 60. Minus 36 minus 81 will give you minus 45. This minus has entered inside the bracket. So it has become plus. So children, what is A10? A10 is equal to minus 60 plus 45 is equal to minus 15. Correct, student? Now children, as I told you, what was basically the first topic, that we were going to find out the nth term when we will be having the sum of first n terms given. Now children, I am going to reach on the generalized form. So children, before I switch to the generalized form, you may have observed one thing. Just have a look. When I was going to calculate A3, that was the third term. Then what did I do? I just took the sum of first three terms, only that very term I took. And after that, I subtracted the sum of two terms, which is basically this 2 is preceding to 3. Correct? Now, let us talk about A10. For finding A10, I first of all took the sum of first 10 terms, and after that I subtracted the sum of the term which is preceding to 10. Correct, students? Now you will better understand the generalized form. I will have to calculate the nth term, that is an. So it must be equal to Sn minus Sn minus 1. Look, here I am going to calculate the nth term. So definitely I will have to take the sum of first n terms. And what else I have to do? I have to subtract the sum of first n minus 1 terms. This n minus 1 is actually preceding of n. Correct, students? So now children, an is equal to, what is Sn? This has been given. That is 4n minus n square minus. Children, now I will have to calculate Sn minus 1. So how will I calculate Sn minus 1? Wherever I had n, there I am going to insert n minus 1. It would become Sn minus 1 is equal to 4 into n minus 1. Look, 4 into n minus 1 minus n minus 1 whole square. This is n minus 1 whole square. Correct, student? So let us simplify it. 4n minus n square minus, multiply this 4 by n as well as by 1 also. You will be getting 4n minus 4. This is minus. This is a minus b whole square. That is a square means n square plus b square, that is 1, minus 2 into a into b means minus 2 into n into 1. You will be getting minus 2n. Correct? Now let us solve this bracket first. 4n minus 4. This minus is entering inside the bracket. It would become minus n square minus 1 plus 2n. Correct? And this 4n minus n square is written as it is. Again this minus is entering inside the bracket. So the term, sign of each and every term will be changed. It would become 4n minus n square. This is minus 4n plus 4 plus n square plus 1 and minus 2n. Correct, student? So this minus 4n and plus 4n are both going to be cancelled. Here also n square and minus n square are going to be cancelled. So ultimately what I have got? I have got the answer as 4 plus 1, that is 5 minus 2n. So this is what actually, children? This is to find the nth term of AP when you will be having the sum of first n terms given. Correct? So in short, what should I say? That whenever you are going to subtract the sum of n minus 1 terms from the sum of first n terms, then you can easily calculate the nth term of AP. Correct, students? Now children, I am going to start with word problems. So this is question number 16 of exercise 5.3. A sum of rupees 700 is to be used to give 7 cash prizes to students of a school for their overall academic performance. So what is the total sum which will be given, which will be distributed among the students? That is rupees 700. And how many cash prizes are there? Total 7 cash prizes. So if each prize is rupees 20 less than its preceding price, then find the value of each of the prizes. Correct, student? You may have understood the statement. So let us start its solution. Here rupees 700 is to be used to give how many cash prizes? That is 7. So let the value of the first cash prize be rupees A. Then the value of the second prize, definitely it will be 20 rupees less than the previous price. Fine. That would be A minus 20. Correct, student? Because it is given in the question that each price is 20 less than its preceding price. So what is the preceding price? In case 1, for the first price it is rupees A. So I have to subtract 20 from rupees A so that I can come to know about the second price value. Now let us talk about the third price value. For third it will be, I have to subtract again 20 from second price. Correct? So this is A minus 20 and of course minus 20 more will be done. Fine, because it is given in the question that 20 rupees it is less from its preceding price. What was the preceding price for price 3? That was A minus 20. I have to subtract 20 more from here. So children, it would become A minus 40. And so on. So let the first term be A, and of course what would be the common difference, children? Can you tell me the common difference? Look, if the very first term is A, another one was A minus 20, another one was A minus 40, and so on. So as I told you how to calculate the common difference, succeeding, that is A minus 20, minus preceding, that is A. It would be A minus 20 minus A. Cancel them, you will be getting minus 20 as the common difference. So what would be the common difference? That is minus 20. Correct, students? Children, through this AP also you can come to know that the difference will be negative. Why? Because it is in descending order. Correct, student? Now I will be having the sum of first 7 prizes given, that is S7 is equal to 700. Now it is the turn again to recall the formula of first n terms of sum of first n terms of AP, which is Sn is equal to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Correct? So apply it. Here at place of n I am going to insert 7. It would become 7 upon 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 means 7 minus 1 into common difference is minus 20 is equal to 700. So it would become 2a plus 6 into minus 20 into 7 upon 2 is equal to 700. Fine, student. So let us simplify this bracket first. It would be 2a minus 120 is equal to, here it is 700, here 7 by 2 is multiplying, will be divided on next time on right hand side. It would become 2 upon 7. Cancel them, you will be getting 200. So 2a is equal to 200 plus 120, because this minus 120 will go on right hand side. It would become plus 120. So what would be the answer written on right hand side? That is 320. So what is A? 320 divided by 2. That is equal to 160. This is basically the very first prize, children. So hence the value of the first prize is A is equal to rupees 160. Definitely the candidate whosoever is going to get the first prize will get the maximum amount. Correct? So let us talk about the second prize money. That was rupees 20 less than the preceding one. So I have to subtract 20 from 160. It would become rupees 140. In the same manner, again subtract 20 from its preceding price, that is 140 minus 20. It would become rupees 120. This is the third prize. Let us talk about the fourth prize. Again 20 less, that is rupees 100. Fifth prize will be rupees 80. Correct, students? Fifth prize was rupees 80. So the candidate who stood sixth, means who is going to get sixth prize, will get 20 rupees less from the preceding prize money. That is rupees 80 minus rupees 20 will become rupees 60. And of course, the last, that is the seventh prize, will be of rupees 40. Correct, students? You can even verify your answer also when you are going to add all the prize monies from rupees 60 till 40 in descending order. Definitely you will be going to get the sum as rupees 700, which is the total cash prize money distributed among 7 candidates. Correct, students? Now children, let us switch to the next word problem. This is question number 18. A spiral is made up of successive semicircles with the center alternatively at A, B, and of course it will be in continuation. Starting with the center at A of radii 0.5 cm, then 1 cm, then 1.5 cm, 2.0 that is 2 cm, and so on, as shown in the figure given below. What is the total length of such a spiral made up of 13 consecutive semicircles? Children, this is the spiral. Have a look. Children, in this figure you can see that A, that is the center point for this particular semicircle. Fine. And this is center B for this semicircle, which is made here on the below portion of this straight line. Correct, students? And so on. So basically what has been given in the question, we have been given that for the first circle, the radius is 0.5. For second circle, the radius is 1. 1.5 centimeter is the radius of the third semicircle, 2 centimeter is the radius of the fourth semicircle, and so on. Correct, student? You just be focused on this figure now. Here you can see that this L1 is basically the length of the first part of the spiral. Then this L2 is the length of the second part of the spiral. This is L3, the above part I am talking about. This is again will be added to find out the length of the spiral. Then later on you can go for L4, fine, and then L5 and so on. Correct, student? So what has been asked in the question, that what is the total length of such a spiral made up of 13 consecutive semicircles? Here children, you can see this is semicircle number 1 whose length is visible here, that is L1. This is semicircle number 2 whose length is L2. Then L3, this is semicircle number 3, this is L4, this is semicircle number 4, and the above one is semicircle number 5, and so on. It will keep on moving like this. Fine. And basically we will have to make total 13 consecutive semicircles. What is said in the question, what we have to calculate? Total length of such a spiral which is made up of 13 consecutive semicircles. Fine. So as I have to calculate the length of the spiral made up of 13 consecutive semicircles, so children, what I have to do basically? I have to calculate L1 plus L2 plus L3 plus L4, because this is the only part which is going to form spiral. Correct? L5 and of course so on up to L13. So let us calculate L1 first of all. What is this L1 actually? This is the length of the, or I should call it the circumference of the semicircle whose center is A. Correct, student? So children, you know very well how to calculate the length or the circumference of the circle, that is 2 pi r. But here the spirals are going to be form semicircles. So definitely it will be 2 pi r divided by 2, that is pi r. Correct? So let us find the sum or the total length of the spiral which is made up of 13 consecutive semicircles. So the formula is pi into r. Correct? So what is the r in case 1? That is pi into 0.5. I have just told you the radii given. Plus for the second spiral, that is whose length is L2. So what would be the, how to calculate the length? That is pi into 1.0. Plus for the third part of the spiral whose length is L3, that is pi into 1.5 plus pi into 2.0 and so on up to, we will be reaching up to 13th spiral. Children, can you tell me if the radius of the very first is 0.5, second is 1.0, third is 1.5, then it is 2.0 and so on. So can you tell me what would be the length or what should be the radius for the 13th spiral? Correct. It would be 6.5. How did I calculate? Children, here you can notice what is the common difference, that is 0.5. So it must be multiplied by 13 to come to know the radius of the 13th spiral. Correct? So it would be 6.5. Now children, I am going to take 0.5 into pi as common. So what I will be getting over here? It would be 1 plus 2 plus 3 and will be going on up to 13th. Just check. When you will be multiplying 0.5 by 2, you will be getting 1.0. When you will be multiplying 0.5 by 3, you will be getting 1.5. Then 4 by 0.5, you will be getting 2.0. Basically, this has become the complete AP. From here, I am going to take common 0.5 into pi. So again, I have got AP in the bracket, that is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 up to 13. Correct, students? Now I will have to just find the sum. 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to 13. Children, you know the formula of finding the sum of first 13 terms. It would be S13 is equal to 13 by 2 into 2a plus 13 minus 1 into d. Correct? This is the general formula. That is Sn is equal to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. So wherever I spoke n just now, there I am going to insert 13. Why? Because I have to calculate the sum of first 13 terms. It would be pi into 0.5 into At place of n, I am writing 13 by 2. Fine, means this would become 13 by 2 into 2 into 1. From where this you get? The very first term is 1. Because this is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus up to 13. And what is the common difference, children? 2 minus 1, that is 1. Correct? So plus 13 minus 1 into the common difference is 1. Fine? So at place of pi, children, you will have to take 22 by 7 as you are going to find the length, or I should say the circumference of the semicircle. So pi, you could take 3.14 also, but in the question it is given that you have to use pi as 22 by 7 into 0.5 into 13 by 2. Now solve this bracket. 2 ones are 2 plus 13 minus 1, that is 12, into 1 will give you 12 only. So this 2 plus 12 will become 14. Simplify them. 7 into 2, that is 14, is going to be cancelled with 14. Removing the decimal of 0.5, I have got 22 into 5 into 13 upon 10. So it would become 1430 upon 10 centimeters. So ultimately, what would be the length of the total 13 spiral bindings? It would be 143 centimeter. Correct, students? So this is basically the length of the spiral which is made by total 13 consecutive semicircles. Fine, students? Okay. Now I am going to switch to the horse questions from exercise 5.4. Two questions are still left from 5.3. They are again word problems. So I will be taking them in next lecture. Now the very first horse is, which term of AP, that is AP you will be having 121, 117, 113 and so on, is its first negative term. Fine. Children, we have done same type of question earlier also, though we have not dealt with negative term till now. But whenever it was said in the question which term of this AP is minus 150, minus 110, then you knew very well that we were just going to assume that it would be the nth term. The same strategy we are going to apply now also. So AP is 121, 117, 113 and so on. Children, what is A? The very first term, that is 121. How to find out the common difference? This is succeeding minus preceding. That is 117 minus 121 will give you minus 4. Correct? So let nth term, that is AN, be the first negative term. So if I am talking about the negative term, it means that term must be less than 0. So can I write nth term, that is AN, must be less than 0? Because the numbers which are less than 0, they always give the negative result. Correct? So what is nth term formula? It is A plus N minus 1 into D, must be less than 0. So substitute the value of A and D over here. It would be 121 plus N minus 1 into, at place of D I am writing minus 4, must be less than 0. So simplify it. 121 minus 4 into N would become minus 4N. Minus 1 into minus 4 will become plus 4, is less than 0. Correct? So 121 plus 4 will become 125. Minus 4N is less than 0. Leave minus 4N on this side and take this 125 on right hand side. It would become minus 4N is less than minus 125. Correct, students? Now children, here I am going to explain you one very simple and minute concept, though it is very important. See, please understand, as I know that 5 is less than 7. But suppose if I am going to multiply this complete expression by minus 1, I will be getting minus 5 and here minus 7. Then should I write the same sign which is written above, that is less than? No. It would become that minus 5 is greater than minus 7. So what did you observe? Whenever you will be having the concept of inequality given, fine, and you are going to just multiply this complete expression by minus 1, then after changing the sign, you must have to change this sign as well. Though you have changed the sign, this plus has become minus. Here also it was plus, has become minus. But what about this inequality sign? The sign of less than. It would become greater than. Correct, student? The same strategy I am going to apply over here. I got minus 4n is less than minus 125. Now I am multiplying this complete expression by minus 1. So it would become 4n, because minus 4n into minus 1 will give you 4n. This less than will become greater than, and minus 125 into minus 1 will become 125 with positive sign. Correct? So it means n is greater than 125 upon 4. That is 31 whole 1 upon 4. Fine. But as you know that because it is through this expression what I have come to know, that n is greater than 31 whole 1 upon 4. So what is the actual value of n? Basically, as you know that n is a positive integer. So the least integral value of n will be n is equal to 32. Because we cannot write n like this, that n is greater than 31.25 or 31 whole 1 upon 4. Basically, we will have to just tell the value of n in positive integer form. Correct? So what would be n here? N is equal to 32. Because n is greater than 31 whole 1 upon 4. So what is the actual value of n? As it is greater than 31 whole 1 upon 4. So it means it will be equal to 32. Correct? Fine. Here this is the least integral value of n. Integral is nothing but integers only. Fine. So as I have got n is equal to 32. So hence the 32nd term of AP will be the first negative term. Correct, student? Because you observed it in this AP, the order was in descending. Fine. So definitely somewhere you were going to get the first negative term. Correct, student? So that's it for the day. Now this is the time to get mathematics homework. Please note down. Children, these are very easiest question which I am going to give you in homework. The toughest one I have covered. Please write down. Do questions 12, 13, 15 and 17 of exercise 5.3 in homework notebook along with classwork questions. What are these classwork questions? Whatever I have covered in today's lecture. And you have to try 2 questions only. That is question number 19 and 20th of exercise 5.3 in practice notebook. Correct, students? So that's it for the day. Fine. Please like the video and do not forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you and have a nice day.